Two 19-year-old women, both student teachers, were enjoying some time at the beach around 11:15 a.m. on the 22nd of October 1972. They were at the southernmost part of Maslin Beach, which in 1975 became Australia's first official nude beach. Cliffs ring the sands here and grant it a sense of isolation and privacy. In a tangle of seaweed in shallow water, they saw something, orange and blue, which attracted their attention. Upon investigating, they realised they had discovered the body of a person. They probably thought they had chanced across an unfortunate victim of a drowning. Police were called, and when the body was examined, they knew it was no accidental death. The body was of a young man, with 6 bullet holes in his head. The deceased was 5'8" and strongly built. He had dark brown medium-length hair with sideburns, an olive complexion, and hazel eyes. The body was clad in an orange t-shirt, light blue trousers with a pinstripe, red bathers with a white band, and olive grey coloured European-style shoes, size 4.3. The dead man also had a fine gold chain with a crucifix around his neck. On his right arm was a tattoo of an anchor and chain, and the number 2213-66. On his left forearm was another tattoo, this one of a snake and dagger, with some unidentified writing. It was thought the man had been shot on the previous Friday night, 20th of October. On Saturday, the 21st, a new shovel had been discovered by skin divers at Maslin's. When they heard of the incident, they alerted police. It was a Parks 4-all steel brand, manufactured in England. Police believed whoever had shot the man had come prepared to bury the body on the beach, but were thwarted by the tide. With the assistance of the army using metal detectors, they scoured the sands for evidence on the 23rd and 24th, but found nothing else that helped with solving the enigma. It was not until the end of the month that the body was identified as that of 25-year-old Davor Unkovich, a carpenter of Sampson Street, White Gum Valley, Perth. His brother, Nicola, was flown from Perth to positively identify the body. With the identification confirmed, there was now an extra problem. Davor had arrived in Adelaide from Western Australia with another brother named Ante. Both men had been born in Yugoslavia but had lived in Perth for a long time. They had driven their Torana sedan across the Nullarbor Plain, arriving in Adelaide on the 13th of October, and now Davor was dead and Ante was missing. The pair had withdrawn all their savings from the bank, an amount of $2,300. They intended to meet another Yugoslavian man in South Australia. For what reason, other than it was a business deal, was not stated. However, they did try unsuccessfully to illegally purchase a handgun before they came to Adelaide. The pair stayed at a hotel and were last seen on the 19th of October 1972. Ante was 30 and was last seen with Davor at West's Coffee Palace in Hindley Street, Adelaide, at about 7:30 p.m. He was a cabinet maker, described as 5'7", well built with blue-grey eyes and light brown hair. The brothers' car was located in Adelaide. It had been abandoned with some of their clothing in it. Police believe that both brothers were murdered at the same time and their bodies dumped in the sea. Davor's washed up, but Ante's vanished, maybe eaten by a shark or other marine life. There was no suggestion that he had been responsible for his brother's death. It was stated by a fellow Croat, Mr. Ljubo Kuka of Tuart Hill, Western Australia, that a group of Yugoslavians, whom Davor had witnessed bash another Croat while working at Cape Lambert, could have slain him. Davor had volunteered to be a police witness, but the case had never reached court. The group had threatened Davor ever since, several times saying they would kill him. Davor had been worried and had trouble sleeping. This assertion was refuted by Nikola Unkovich, who said his brother's death had nothing to do with the feud. Police had a couple of suspects to question, but they left the country before any interviews could be carried out. There the investigation stalled. What the brothers were meeting the man for was never revealed. Ante Unkovich was never found, dead or alive. In 2021, if he is still living, He would be 79 years old. Davor's body was buried at Centennial Park Cemetery on the 7th of February, 1973. A still unidentified male body was found near the Chidlow Rifle Range off the Great Eastern Highway in Sawyers Valley, Western Australia, on the 27th of August 1978. The man had been murdered by being shot in the chest 2 or 3 months prior, and the body concealed under branches. He was aged between 35 and 45, 171 to 178 centimetres tall, and had a fair complexion. Because of the similarities to Ante Unkovich, 2 posters on the Web Sleuth's crime page on the internet suggested, despite the 6-year gap, that it might have been him. He would have been 36 in 1978, 172 centimetres, and with a fair complexion. A $200,000 reward is on offer for information leading to the conviction of the killer of Davor Unkovich or the recovery of Ante's remains. A reward of $250,000 is offered for solving the Chidlow murder. After almost 50 years, though, it seems likely that the solution to the Unkovich Enigma lies forever lost in the dark corners of history.